Hey everybody, happy holidays. Neil here with another film review for you. Today I'm going to be taking a look at Violent Night, directed by Tommy Wirkola. And yes, there will be spoilers, so spoiler alert. This movie is a really good time. It's an over-the-top gore fest, certainly, for some of it, but much of it is done for comedic effect, really, and it could become a new holiday classic. That's the real question. Is it worth rewatching? Hard to say, but it is well cast and it's a lot of fun on the initial viewing, anyway. So this movie is, yeah, just a straight-up dark comedy. It kind of asks the question of what if Die Hard starred Santa Claus? What if Kevin McAllister killed the Wet Bandits? Right? These questions are basically answered, because the idea is pretty much the same here for both movies. There's a lot of references. In fact, the film references both of those movies directly, too. So, yeah, so what we get here is David Harbour plays Santa Claus. He's well cast as Santa. I think he makes a good one. And he starts the film at this British pub, and this store Santa comes in and just asks him, oh, hey, what time did you get off? And they're thinking he's another store Santa, but it's really the real Santa. And that's a wonderfully little charming scene. And he's like, well, better get going, gotta deliver presents, and he goes, and he actually winds up going to the roof and flying off in his reindeer, of course, much to the shock of the bartender there that that followed him up there and saw him fly away. So, yeah, so we go, okay, this is the real Santa Claus. That's what we're going with. He's the real deal, okay? Yeah, he was actually a Viking, too, like 1,100 years ago. He was like Nickman the Red, I think they called him. So that's kind of his backstory. But the idea here is that basically he's in the Bruce Willis role for Die Hard. He's going to wind up saving the day, and this is how he saves the day. So he winds up at a mansion. It's owned by the Lightstones, really the matriarch of the Lightstones, which is played by Beverly D'Angelo. Good to see her. Of course, nice little nod to National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. So yeah, it's really traditional to see her every Christmas too on the TV, right? So yeah, wonderful to see her in this film, and she's really funny. She's very blue. She swears like a sailor. It's fantastic. She's great. She almost steals the film. And the rest of the cast, well, we get like quite an interesting mix of people here. We get this family with this couple that are kind of estranged, kind of going through a divorce, I think. It's Alex Castle plays Jason Lightstone, and he reminds me of a mix between Oscar Isaac and Raul Julia. And I don't know if there's any relation to either of those actors, but he really reminds me of one of those guys. So I don't know. I'll have to look into that. Not that it matters too much, but he's very good in his role, and he's joined by Alexis Lander. I think her name is Alexis Lander. That's Linda, who's his wife as well, and she's wonderful in the film. Very tough ex-wife, I believe. Leah Brady. She's playing Trudy. So Leah Brady plays Trudy, and Trudy is basically the Kevin McAllister of this movie. So yeah, that's kind of the deal there. So what winds up happening, as you can imagine, is there's a heist by these mercenaries led by John Leguizamo, and he's there to murder people, basically, but he's there to rob Beverly D'Angelo, mainly, and get into her vault and everything, and he's got it all planned out. And just like Die Hard 2, he's actually also bought out her security team, her little SWAT team as well, so they wind up betraying the family too. So they get into the vault, they find out the money is missing, and that obviously sets off John Leguizamo and his troupe of Christmas-themed mercenaries. They're named after different kind of Christmas themes, like Candy Cane and Sugar Plum and Frosty and whatnot. So yeah, it's all very fitting. But meanwhile, what's happening the whole time is that David Harbour is slowly and really kind of not wanting to, but slowly taking out these thieves one by one. So again, he's doing the John McLan thing, but he's he was scared to death at the beginning. He wasn't really a badass at the beginning or whatnot, but But he's got some benefit to him. I kept thinking, like, is he super strong? Does Santa have like any kind of super strength? Has he got like super soldier serum in him or something like that? Because I don't know. Like, he's just a strong, tough guy because he was a former Viking, So, and he's seemingly immortal. So yeah, I mean, pretty tough Santa. So he does a good job of taking them out, and then later on, Trudy also winds up taking out some of the other bad guys too, with her Home Alone hijinks and some of these really graphic and brutal pranks that she pulls on a couple of these these thieves. So that stuff is all very much fun, and it doesn't really matter that it's not so original because it's all done for laughs with a big wink to the audience, like, hey, yeah, we're doing this, yeah, we're doing that movie now. It's like, okay, like they're just having fun with the whole thing, and we can have fun with it too, for sure. There are a few other characters here too. There's this like snobby, cowardly actor, and there's Jason's sister and their son, who's all about the Instagram and the social media, live streams and all that stuff, and that's kind of a little bit annoying, but that's okay. I mean, it's also very, very true and very, timely. It's something that like, a lot of people are doing, so it's no surprise. But I gotta say, like, the way the brutal violence goes all the way up until the end, where John Leguizamo and Santa Claus fight it out, and this is a really graphic, funny scene where Santa Claus actually has this ability where he touches his face, and he's able to like create magic and fly up the chimneys. So that's how he gets up and down chimneys, is with his magic, because no human could actually survive that. So what happens to the John Leguizamo character is that Santa grabs him and he pulls him right up the chimney and he kills him. It's just this bloody mess. Oh man, it's pretty sad. So John Leguizamo basically doing the Alan Rickman role in this case, doing the Hans Gruber. He called himself Scrooge throughout this movie, but his name was Jimmy Martinez, I believe. And yeah, he's he's really dead. Oh boy, yeah. So the head of the traitors of the SWAT team actually dies last, and he gets shot in the head by Beverly D'Angelo. So nice to see her get some action in there, So it's a fun movie, but I guess my criticism is that because it's so over the top with its violence, and it is just like a fun one-time watcher, that's the way I kind of feel about this movie. I'll have to see. Like on the second viewing, I may change my mind, but right now it feels like this movie doesn't really have legs to me, like in the sense of the National Lampoon's Vacation or Home Alone or any of these other Christmas movies that, are so traditional. Maybe it will become that way. It probably will, but it is a lot more adult, right? It is more Die Hard than Home Alone for sure. So it's more for the adults. I did see a couple of kids in the theater, and I went, okay, like their parents don't mind the swearing and the violence, yippee-ki-yay, Yeah, so that's fitting. But anyway, yeah, the movie is very, very funny. It is a dark comedy, not to be taken seriously at all. It's not a horror movie or anything like that. It's just very bloody and very gory, and the violence is very funny, over the top. And man, almost like an Evil Dead movie, quite frankly. And no, I think they all did a great job. The cast is quite good, and I was impressed overall. And I think I'm actually going to give this movie a 7.5 out of 10, because I still have to wait and see if it has legs, right? So maybe that score will go up in the future, in future Christmases. We'll see if it's on TV next year or something, or in following years. I'm sure it'll be on Crave or whatever, and we'll see, right? So who knows? But for now, I got to thank you guys for checking out this quick film review of Violent Night. Yeah, it was pretty violent. All right, guys. Thanks again. This is Neil. Happy holidays, and take care. Peace.